Fox 11 is on special assignment this evening, looking out for older people living in our communities. Police say that older people wandering off or getting lost while they're driving is a growing problem as we live longer, typically almost 79 years, according to the Centers for Disease Control. But unlike statewide alerts for missing or endangered children, when it comes to adults, some people are now saying the state is not doing enough to protect seniors. Fox 11's Mark Leland examines the problem and questions state officials to try to get some answers.
Claire Babe of Townsend is 81 and part of the growing population of senior citizens. And with age comes a growing chance of dementia. Babe was diagnosed more than a year ago with early signs of Alzheimer's disease. It affects your ability to remember where you're going, understand what you're doing, and figure out what went wrong. For Babe, the symptoms of dementia didn't all converge until last month.
Right now we're just praying and hoping that they are safe.
You may remember her story then on Fox 11 when she got lost while driving the 75 miles with her husband Leo in their minivan to visit family in the Green Bay area.
Her capacity to make those kinds of decisions just vaporized. She had it up until that day, and all of a sudden something kicked in and changed.
Bernie Babe says he contacted the Oconto County Sheriff's Department when his parents failed to show up after a couple hours.
And first it was just looking kind of a missing person, and then about after 3 or 4 hours it went from missing person to missing person in danger.
Had they been in an accident? Was their van in a ditch somewhere? Were they hurt? Questions that had family members searching area roadways for 2 days. Area law enforcement agencies shared the information amongst themselves to be on the lookout for the couple, and they had the option to utilize the Wisconsin Crime Alert Network. Joseph Lebowski is the coordinator of the statewide program started a year and a half ago.
Was that put out on the alert, do you know?
You know, my understanding is it was not. But the thing with this feature of the crime alert system is it's up to each agency to decide what resources they're going to use in individual missing persons cases.
The Crime Alert Network is an internet-based program run through the Department of Justice, but it costs subscribers $12 a year to get email or text alerts on criminal and missing person cases. To date, though, there are just 7,000 subscribers statewide, and a majority of them are police officers. Area police tell me each missing adult case is different and has to be evaluated on its own merits before any public notification is made. And when it comes to adults, it's difficult to know whether they're missing or plans simply changed, especially in those early hours. But for the Babe family, they knew something was wrong.
We didn't know, if they hit a deer or if they got an accident or avoided somebody.
Green Bay Area State Representative Chad Weininger says the state needs to do more to help find missing seniors.
So I think it's important to engage the public to at least let them know that these folks are being looked for and trying to, get them back home where they belong.
Weininger is looking at the Silver Alert program that currently has been implemented in 22 other states. It works with television and radio stations along with outdoor electronic billboards to send out alerts for missing older adults. In many cases, it operates a lot like the Amber Alert, which is used to track down missing or endangered children. But the Amber Alert has an FCC waiver in order to interrupt broadcasters' airwaves. A similar waiver would be needed for Silver Alerts in order to trigger the emergency alert system.
I think the larger issue is, how can we make a bill that works for both law enforcement, broadcasters, and to protect, the folks that really need it.
Bernie Babe says his parents that first night asked for directions in Reedsville, some 30 miles past their destination. Babe believes a Silver Alert might have ended the nightmare then.
I think there's a good chance it would have speeded things along. It would have been great had it gone out on that evening news. Yeah. They would have seen the vehicle. They would have saw probably a picture of my parents at that point, and maybe we could have curtailed this 24 hours earlier.
Right. And the Babe family isn't alone in this. The Alzheimer's Association reports 1 in 8 people in America 65 and older suffer from dementia. The number goes up to nearly 1 in 2 for those 85 and older.
Dementia is a huge piece of this.
Jim Murphy heads up the state's Assisted Living Association that cares for our aging population.
I know some tragic stories, unfortunately. Good-hearted people doing the best they can, and people wander.
I asked Murphy if the Crime Alert Network went far enough to protect seniors.
Well, I'm not a subscriber to that. I guess I'd rather see something that's broader. And I think the Silver Alert program is designed, like with a missing child, to expand, not be narrow, but to go broad.
It's my opinion that the Crime Alert Network fulfills a lot of the needs that a Silver Alert system would have. And I think sometimes when people say Wisconsin needs a Silver Alert system, either are not aware of the Crime Alert Network or are not familiar with the details of how it works.
Weininger says the Crime Alert Network has merits, but in missing adult cases at this point falls short of what's really needed.
I think that's a great tool for a number of issues. I think what we need to do is look to see how maybe we can improve upon that, to engage the public and other folks to be more active in looking for people that are lost.
Weininger projects the cost to implement the Silver Alert would run between $10,000 and $30,000. The Crime Alert Network budget last year was $109,000. The babes were found late on the second day by police in West Bend after driving around for more than 800 miles.
You know, they were a mess. My parents were a mess. And just not knowing where they are.
As for Claire Babe, she is no longer driving, and 92-year-old Leo Babe, he was hospitalized after the ordeal for tests. It was in the hospital where he died just a few days later from congestive heart failure. It's still unclear whether stress from 2 days out on the road played a part in his death. But that's exactly why Weininger says caring for the elderly is a growing concern and needs to be addressed sooner rather than later. On special assignment, Mark Leland, Fox 11 News.
State Senator Dave Hansen of Green Bay also now says that he too is looking to introduce legislation in Madison to create a Silver Alert in Wisconsin. More about the Silver Alert and the Wisconsin Crime Alert Network is available through the Newslink section of our website, fox11online.com.